Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're opening up some really interesting source material on Thailand's latest economic strategy.
Yeah, it's quite the package.
It really is. It's a fascinating contrast, isn't it? On one hand, a clear push to bring highly skilled Thai nationals back home.
Right. Big incentives there.
And then at the same time, they're completely overhauling the tax rules for, the foreign residents and digital nomads already there.
Exactly. And this isn't just some minor tweak to the tax code. It feels much more like a fundamental repositioning.
A strategic move.
Definitely. Thailand seems to be signaling we want very specific, high-value talent, but maybe on stricter terms overall. They're trying to tackle that brain drain issue for their own professionals, while also making sure foreign residents are, let's say, contributing more formally to the government's coffers.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's a complex policy pivot. So our mission here in this deep dive is to really unpack the details for you.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. What are these generous new incentives for returning Thais? And maybe more importantly for many listening, what's this critical change in tax rules for foreign residents? We want you to understand what this really means for residency, for planning, and maybe even for travel around the Asia-Pacific region.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's kick off with the attraction part. The Brain Gain Initiative aims squarely at skilled Thai professionals currently working abroad. The sources talk about groundbreaking tax incentives.
Yeah, and the centerpiece, the real hook, is the financial side.
Okay.
Qualified Thais who come back home, they get offered a fixed 17% income tax rate, flat rate.
17%. Wow. That definitely sounds like a strong draw, especially for higher earners.
Yeah.
When you think about it, why is 17% such a powerful number, particularly for Thais maybe working in, say, Singapore or the US or Europe?
Well, it comes down to marginal tax rates, really.
Yeah.
In many of those developed economies or even regional hubs, if you're a high earner, your top tax rate, it could easily be pushing 35%, 40%, maybe even higher. And sometimes those systems are complex, depending on how long you stay, what kind of income. A flat, simple 17%, that's transparent. It's predictable.
Huge savings, potentially.
Massive, immediate savings compared to where they might be now. It's a very clear signal. Come home and you get this significant financial benefit. It makes that decision much easier.
But looking at the source details, it's not just for anyone with a Thai passport who wants to come back, is it? There are strings attached.
Though, definitely. They're targeting specific talent. You need at least a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And crucially, you need a minimum of 2 years of international work experience.
So experienced professionals.
Right. And another key point, you have to be a Thai national who hasn't actually worked in Thailand during that tax year you're returning for.
I see. So it's really aimed at those genuinely making a return from abroad, bringing back skills learned elsewhere.
Precisely. It ensures the benefit goes to the intended group's skilled expats returning.
And the incentives aren't just for the individuals, are they? The sources mention something for the companies hiring them, too.
Absolutely. That's the other side of the coin. To make sure there's demand for this talent, companies in certain targeted sectors.
Which sectors are those?
This is key. They're focusing on areas like technology, advanced manufacturing, and R&D, research and development.
Okay, future-focused industries.
Exactly. Those companies get a 50% tax exemption on the salary costs for hiring these returning skilled workers.
So it makes it cheaper for them to hire this high-end talent.
Right. It encourages companies to invest in these specific skilled returnees, hoping to boost innovation and productivity in those key areas.
Why the specific focus on tech, advanced manufacturing, R&D? What's the bigger picture there?
Well, the government's clearly trying to move Thailand up the value chain, become less reliant on just tourism or basic manufacturing.
Makes sense.
By funneling incentives into these advanced sectors, they're aiming for real productivity gains, building industrial muscle. They have a timeline, too. This runs until the end of 2029.
Okay.
So it's a clear, multi-year strategy to invest in that knowledge economy.
It's a really attractive package for that specific group.
It is. But what's so striking is how this generosity contrasts with the other major policy change happening at almost the same time.
Yeah, that brings us perfectly to the second big piece. And this one, arguably, could be far more disruptive for a lot of foreigners currently in Thailand or thinking of going.
Definitely.
We're talking about the major reinterpretation of personal income tax rules, particularly for foreign residents and digital nomads. This kicked in from January 2024.
Right. And let's zone in on the absolute critical shift here, how overseas income is treated.
Okay.
For years, the rule was, well, Pretty straightforward. If you earned income outside Thailand,
Uh-huh.
it was only taxable if you brought it into Thailand in the very same calendar year you earned it.
So you could earn it one year, bring it in the next, and you were okay tax-wise.
Exactly. It created this, well, loophole, I suppose. Financial planning often involved just timing your transfers carefully, delaying them.
So how does the new reality, starting this year, completely flip that?
The new rule from the Thai Revenue Department basically closes that door. It broadens the tax net quite significantly.
How so?
Now, any assessable income you transfer into Thailand is potentially taxable. Doesn't matter when you earned it.
Regardless of the earning year.
Irrespective, the whole idea of just waiting a year to transfer funds to avoid tax, that's finished. Dead in the water.
Can you maybe give us a quick practical example just to make that crystal clear for everyone listening?
Sure. Let's say under the old rules, you earned, I don't know, $100,000 in your UK bank account in 2023.
Okay.
If you didn't transfer it to Thailand until January 2024, under the old system, no Thai tax was due on that.
Right.
Under the new rule, let's say you earned $100,000 back in 2018 or 2020, or even last year, 2023. If you transfer any of that into Thailand now, in 2024 or later.
It's potentially taxable income.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Assessable income, it completely changes the calculation.
That is a fundamental shift for anyone planning finances around long-term residency in Thailand.
Wow.
It really is. There is one crucial detail, though, a sort of grandfathering clause that people need to know.
Oh, what's that?
The sources are clear. Savings you already had, money accumulated in your foreign accounts before December 31st, 2023, that remains exempt.
Okay. So pre-existing savings are safe.
Correct. That date, December 31st, 2023, is the key cutoff. Anything earned from January 1st, 2024 onwards falls under the new rule if transferred in.
Got it. That's a critical distinction. Now, besides how income transfers are treated, the sources also suggest the very definition of who counts as a tax resident has tightened up. Less about your visa type now.
That's right. It's much simpler and much stricter in a way. Tax liability is now basically determined by how long you're physically in the country. Residency duration.
Okay. And what's the magic number?
180 days. If you reside in Thailand for 180 days or more within any calendar year, boom, you're automatically considered a tax resident for that year. In 180 days, that's roughly 6 months. That's quite a common threshold globally, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Many countries use the 180-day rule, but applying it so clearly in Thailand removes a lot of the previous ambiguity. It makes compliance, well, much less gray, but also potentially much more restrictive for people trying to, optimize their tax situation.
So for the professional, maybe someone on a corporate assignment or even an entrepreneur who splits time across the region, this is the detail that really bites, right?
Yeah.
What's the immediate practical impact when you combine this 180-day rule with the new income transfer policy?
The impact is pretty immediate and twofold, I'd say. First, record keeping becomes absolutely vital. You need meticulous records, tracking every bit of income, when it was earned, when it was transferred.
A lot more paperwork.
A lot more. And second, perhaps more profoundly for the, the lifestyle appeal. It fundamentally changes how long someone can comfortably stay in Thailand without automatically becoming a tax resident and facing potential tax on global income brought in.
So Thailand's image as this super easy, long-term, low-tax base for remote workers or expats managing complex foreign finances, that's taken a hit.
It definitely has. That specific appeal has decreased quite significantly, yeah.
Okay, let's broaden the lens a bit. Connect these Thai policies to the bigger picture. This isn't happening in isolation, is it? Feels like part of a global trend. Governments everywhere are getting tighter on ensuring expats contribute.
Absolutely. You zoom out and you see this pattern. While Thailand still has huge draws, the lifestyle, the culture, the relative affordability, they're still very powerful.
Sure.
But this specific tax change definitely reshapes the competitive landscape in the region, especially for tax-sensitive people.
Which raises the question, if Thailand becomes less attractive from a purely tax perspective,
Right.
where might that highly skilled mobile talent look instead?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The sources do suggest some regional neighbors might see a bit of an uptick. Well, for expats, where tax efficiency is really the #1 priority, maybe above everything else, countries like Malaysia, perhaps Vietnam, they could suddenly look a lot more appealing on paper.
Interesting. So a potential shift in talent flows within Southeast Asia.
It's possible. Some of the people who were drawn primarily by the old, more relaxed tax approach might start exploring those alternatives more seriously.
Now, this change, especially the strict 180-day rule, it must have knock-on effects on other industries too, right?
Yeah.
Like Travel, hospitality, maybe real estate, particularly those catering to longer stays.
Oh, definitely. This is critical, especially for the business travel sector and anyone involved in corporate housing or extended stay accommodation.
Also,
Well, the old model where a professional could just, get a non-immigrant visa, set up shop pretty much permanently, and manage their foreign income quite freely, that's becoming financially less smart.
right.
So, what we might see is a rise in what you could call a strategic nomadism, highly skilled people intentionally adopting a pattern of maybe spending just under 6 months in Thailand.
Staying under the 180 days.
Exactly. And then maybe 6 months somewhere else. Specifically, moving around to avoid triggering tax residency anywhere.
That implies a huge increase in demand for flexible, high-quality, medium-term places to stay, doesn't it? Like service departments, maybe upscale hotel residences, flexible serviced offices.
Precisely. The demand for those kinds of sophisticated, flexible, extended stay solutions could really skyrocket across the whole Asia-Pacific region. These professionals, they won't want to compromise on quality or connectivity.
No way.
But they'll need maximum flexibility. Month-to-month leases, easy in and out terms, bundled services.
So the industry, the providers of accommodation and workspaces, they need to adapt, offer different kinds of packages.
They absolutely do. Promote shorter term, maybe 3 to 6 month, highly flexible packages designed for this transient, high-value traveler. It's a shift away from locking people into long leases towards catering to this high-end, mobile professional class.
So the market for quality serviced accommodation, temporary office spaces,
Yeah,
that it might actually grow because of these new tax rules.
it's poised for growth, I think. It's directly responding to these new tax realities, forcing more movement.
Okay, so putting it all together, looking at both policies, the incentives for Thais, the tighter rules for foreigners, how do you synthesize the government's overall strategy here?
It really looks like a high wire act, doesn't it? It's a balancing act. On one side, they're trying really hard to attract very specific, much-needed talent back home with that attractive 17% rate, boosting key industries.
Right, the brain game.
And on the other side, they're enforcing greater fiscal discipline, making sure the broader expat population contributes more formally through taxes. It's about revenue collection and strategic talent attraction.
Trying to get the best of both worlds, perhaps?
Maybe positioning Thailand for future growth, but definitely changing the nature of its appeal for certain types of long-term foreign residents.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the main takeaways we've pulled out for you from the sources. Thailand's running a two-track strategy here.
Yeah, track one. Big incentives for skilled Thai nationals returning home. That clear 17% flat tax is the headline.
And track two, significantly tightening the tax rules for all foreign residents. Key changes there are the strict 180-day rule for tax residency.
And that big one, taxing overseas income brought into Thailand no matter when you earned it, starting from 2024 earnings.
Got it.
And these changes, they really highlight something broader. The whole landscape, the financial ground rules for digital nomads, for expats, it's shifting really fast globally. Well, the old expectation maybe of being able to use a place as a low tax base while fully using its infrastructure and lifestyle, that's becoming much harder in major hubs around the world. Governments are closing loopholes.
Right. The era of easy tax optimization might be winding down.
It certainly seems that way in places like Thailand now.
Okay, that leaves us with a final thought, something provocative for you, the listener, to chew on.
Go for it.
If this new 180-day tax residency rule really does push skilled professionals towards a more transient model, moving every 6 months or so to stay under the threshold.
The strategic nomadism we talked about?
Exactly. How might other economies in the Asia-Pacific region respond? Not just by tweaking their tax rates, but maybe by changing their visa rules, their banking regulations, their legal frameworks. How do they compete to attract that highly skilled, transient business traveler?
That's a great point. The competition might shift. It's not just about having the lowest taxes anymore.
Right. Maybe it becomes about who offers the smoothest, most efficient, most flexible overall system for someone who lives and works across borders 6 months at a time.
Yeah. Who provides the most robust, flexible, administrative setup for that kind of lifestyle? That could be the next battleground for talent.
Something to think about. That concludes our deep dive for today.